Welcome! You're watching the thrift store rundown doing Disney on a budget. The spirit of Descendants is the spirit of America. The spirit of the good and the bad. The spirit of Descendants is the spirit of America. The spirit of an everlasting fad. I don't think Descendants will ever be out of touch. That's why I call it an everlasting fad. And quite a magical and badass one at that. And that's coming from somebody who forever will be a Descendants outsider. I'm not big on Descendants, but having read through 3 Descendants novelizations over the course of 3 weeks on this series, I don't know. I think I might be a convert. Or at the very least, I might be open to being a convert one day. But for now, its time is up on TSR, so I'm reviewing in one video the Villain Kid's Guide for new VKs. This came as a part of the Wicked Cool collection, which was purchased all at once. All 3 Descendants novelizations along with this. The Spirit Book, with highlights and memories from Auradon Prep, was purchased in a separate haul for 25% off the price of $1.99, and retails for, if we could find a retail price, let's see. Yes, top left corner. $9.99 in the US, $11.99 in Canada. Let's take care of the Villain Kid's Guide first. So, the Villain Kid's Guide is divided into a few separate chapters. We have a welcome chapter to start with, and then we get right into the nitty-gritty part. Places to see. It's a guide to the United States of Auradon and the surrounding areas. Next, the Who's Who of Auradon. It's a guide to some of Auradon's finest denizens. Next, the VK's Guide to Prep School. Everything you need to know to navigate and survive Auradon Prep. Next, and I should say last, the New Recruits. A guide to some of the new Auradon kids. This is told through the point of view of some real Auradon insiders. It's colorfully put together, plenty of film stills, nice chic graphics all along the way. It's nice. When King Ben invited Mal, Jay, Carlos, and me to attend Auradon Prep and Who Is Me? Evie. He changed our lives forever. Since then, I dreamed of the same opportunity for other VKs. On VK Day, my dream came true. 4 new VKs were chosen to attend Auradon Prep to make their transition to Auradon as perfect as a fairy tale. We put together this wickedly cool guide with everything the new VKs need to know about Auradon Prep and the United States of Auradon. Places to see, people to know, things to bring, classes to take, and so much more. What will life be like for the second wave of VKs in a place where goodness rules? If we have anything to say about it, their happily ever afters start now. This, like the 3 Descendants novelizations in the Wicked Cool collection, was not intended for individual resale. But I have it on good authority that this was individually sold away from the Wicked Cool collection, as for all 3 Descendants novelizations. And those 3 separate novelizations have film stills inside them. As for the Spirit Book, well, this is really quite the same. Colorfully put together, nice chic graphics, plenty of film stills. However, what separates this from the Villain Kid's Guide is because it's interactive. You have a lot of lift flaps like this one, and a few fold-out features, which really makes this a ton of fun to read and play around with, within reason. You don't want to play around with this too much and risk tearing apart one of these flaps here. Now this is told through the first-person accounts of Auradon Prep's fighters, all the Descendants, including some contributions from, I guess, the unofficial 5th Descendant here, Doug, who I think has a thing for Evie. But he's been banished to the worst place of all, the friend zone. I don't know what the friend zone is like in the Isle of the Lost. That's kind of like solitary confinement in a regular American penitentiary. You don't want that. Oh well, but this is fun. It's funny. It's kind of poignant in some places, but hauntingly so. That's about it. However, we got a little bit of a problem here. You see these blank notes? These blank spaces give you an opportunity to write down your own things that drive you nuts in this case. Your own thoughts on attending Auradon Prep as a whole. A couple pages have been torn apart. See that right here, this ragged surface? That's how you know it's been torn away. Let me zoom in on that so you can see it better. That's not cool. But you know what? I'm gonna cut it some slack because I have no intention of writing any thoughts in here because again, I'm not big on Descendants. Then again, I got a fair amount of spirit in telling you that this has been quite a lot of fun to tackle all these Descendants books over the course of 3 weeks. Find out what happens when Fairy Godmother invites the students of Auradon Prep to contribute to this year's Spirit book. Full of secret notes, letters, photographs, and drawings. Here's an inside look at everyone's hobbies and interests, friendships, and memories, and more. So, really you could summarize this as one of the most magical, if that's the appropriate word for this, colorful, chic, and wickedly cool high school yearbooks you'll ever want to read, fictional or otherwise. This was designed by Fun Studio, a Reader's Digest company, and it gets, well, 5 out of 5 claps. Again, I'm cutting it slack. Same thing for the Villain Kids Guide, even though it's not as interactive as this. But I'm still pleased with my decision. It gets 10 out of 10 in total. I have to say, these rotten apples actually are kind of sweet. Having said that, I suddenly hope to never see another Descendants item before me again. Thanks for tuning in. Now it's on to the ride of a lifetime. 2 of them with 2 former bosses of Disney. Actually, 1 former boss who's coming back for another 2 years. Oh, you'll see what I mean. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, it's good to be bad. On the flip side, it takes a real bad CEO to get booed at a company party. Really bad.